Hi, I'm Pete Martin, co-founder and director of product marketing at ALTR. ALTR is a policy automation engine that has natively integrated with Snowflake to give you an easier way to manage your governance and security policies at scale. Things like access control, data masking, tokenization, rate limiting, and alerting. We do all of that, and we make it as easy as possible so it doesn't take all of your time. We're also a SaaS platform, and we have a free plan. You can sign up for ALTR right now on Snowflake Partner Connect to see how we work for you. This is why financial services organizations choose ALTR when they're using Snowflake. We're like the easy button for using Snowflake's native governance capabilities, and we tie in our own backgrounds in both finance and data security to keep your data protected, so you can have the confidence you need to use as much Snowflake as you can for your business. We're also PCI DSS Level 1 certified and SOC 2 Type 2 compliant, so our customers can trust ALTR both as a vendor and a partner. When we talk with our financial services customers, we hear a lot about their goals with data. They want to move as much data as possible to Snowflake so they can better understand their customers, better detect fraud, and they view Snowflake as the best platform to help them get the job done. We're also very familiar with the unique challenges the financial services industry has when it comes to regulated personal and financial data. Snowflake has great native features to help protect private information, but when you have hundreds of databases and thousands of tables and columns and millions of potentially sensitive records that could be exposed, you can't afford to have anything slip through the cracks. You really need to automate policy. Without automation, you're exposed to risk and manual processes that keep end users waiting for days or even weeks to access data. That's time that you could be using to better understand your customers and build better experiences for them. There's also this concern about not having complete control over any data that lives in the cloud, which from a process perspective leads to people locking down data access to just a select group of people, or even preventing data from moving to Snowflake in the first place that impacts your organization's ability to analyze data. Again, when you're dealing with sensitive personal financial data, you have to have tighter controls around who can access it, and you need a way to mitigate your risk in the event of a breach. Now, ALTR is the best solution for removing these process bottlenecks and incorporating security to mitigate your risk and speed up access to data so you can get your goals accomplished in Snowflake. Our customers know that. As an example, we worked with the CISO of a leading mortgage provider who has been using Snowflake for a while. Their Snowflake usage had grown exponentially to a point where their data teams were overwhelmed with requests, and it was taking days or weeks for users to get access to data. With ALTR, they've implemented a new open access model that grants access to data based on risk that gives more people access to more data by default and has drastically reduced the number of data access requests their team received. In another example, we helped a credit union improve their adoption of Snowflake by reducing the time they needed to spend designing, testing, and implementing policy. Now, in a minute, I'll demonstrate ALTR so you can see how we help our financial services customers integrate governance and security policies in Snowflake. In the demonstration, I'll show three things. The first is how we simplify policy creation and management. The second is how ALTR's tokenization improves your analytical capabilities without revealing any underlying sensitive data. And lastly, how our rate limiting and alerting capabilities help mitigate your risk so that you can get more done. Let's dive into that now. We're going to start this demo in Snowflake's interface, actually. You can see I've got a couple of tables here. I have a customer data table and a purchases table. My customer data table has first names, last names, email addresses, and credit card numbers that have pretty obviously been tokenized. These have been tokenized by ALTR. And I'll show you this in a second. It's really, really cool. I've got a purchases table as well. It's got those same credit cards that have also been tokenized, and it also has a purchase history, so I can see, how often these credit cards have been used over time, how much money they're spending, etc. And again, I'll show you tokenization, but before we do that, I might want to mask these email addresses so they're not just sitting here exposing personal information in the clear. So let's do that in ALTR. So the ALTR platform, the whole design here is to make it as simple as possible for you to understand the data you have, understand what's sensitive, and apply policy in a really quick and easy way. What we're looking at here is our classification report, and you can see I found some first names, some last names, some general information as well, and I've got some email addresses, right? Cool, right? So we've identified the data. We also integrate with any popular data catalog that you're using. So if you're using something like a Calibra, we can get information from them and apply policy automatically for you too. So it really just depends. We're happy to do it either way. So when you do find information and you want to apply policy, we make that very, very simple. You do that right in our platform. We call it creating a lock. And so I have one created for us already that says, okay, cool, my account admins and my finance managers are allowed to access these email addresses. But right now, we're not applying any kind of a masking policy. You're just able to see it in the clear. So let's change that. And so I'm going to change this to an email address mask. I'm going to update the lock. That really is it. When I run this same query and grab all this data again, you'll see that my email addresses as my account admin, instead of being able to see this information in the clear, it's all masked. It's working exactly the way that it should. And instead of having to take the time to define and implement this policy myself, which has to go in like a development sprint and take days or weeks, I just do it immediately. It's just done already, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. So Alter makes it super simple for you to apply masking policies. Now we go a step further, and if you have really sensitive information like credit card data, we can tokenize that data for you. And we're allowed to do that because of our PCI DSS Level 1 certification and the fact that we're SOC 2 Type 2 compliant. Tokenizing data is great because it keeps your data very, very secure. I think it's the most secure that it can be. And then on top of that, your data stays functional. You can actually operate on that data as well. We do something, it's a little bit technical, called Deterministic Tokenization. It basically means if you tokenize the same value twice, you're going to get the same value back each time. And so you'll see what I mean. So I've tokenized data in this customer data table and also in this purchases table. They're the same credit card numbers, which means I'm getting the same tokens back, which means I can join on those tables. So when I run this query to say, hey, give me the first names, the last names, and the purchase history from this purchases table, wherever these credit cards are equal and the customer first name is Abraham, I can actually run this query and it's going to join the tables together. It's going to compare the tokens that we have. It's going to say, okay, wherever the first name is Abraham, I need to see the purchase history. Now, even though the account admin does not have access to see this credit card information in the clear, I can still operate on data. So imagine your data scientists, your data analysts that are trying to get value out of as much data as possible. Tokenizing data with Alter really allows you to move all of your data into Snowflake so you can get as much value from your data as you can, while you can still be very, very confident in the security of your data because no one's able to see it in the clear. That is, unless you want them to. And so let's see what that looks like now. So if I'm going to switch to our finance manager role here, and I'm going to do the same thing. Now I'm going to request data from this customer data table where the credit card number actually equals a fake credit card number, and I can see the data, right? So I'm allowed to see the first name, the last name, the actual email address, the masked email address, and the actual credit card number. As a finance manager, I'm allowed to do that. My governance policy dictates that I can see that information, so I'm allowed to actually see these credit card numbers in the clear. And that's great, but it may still expose you to risk. And so what Alter does, and I'll show you this and then we'll see it in action, is we allow you to set policy to rate limit how often and how much data can be accessed. And so in this particular case, I'm going to say I want to block access if someone tries to read, in a small example, at least 100, actually I need to update that, so there we go, 100 values a day, so 100 credit card numbers a day, and they're part of this finance manager group. So we're going to do this in real time. Basically, what's happening here is I want people to be able to see this data in the clear when they need to, but I don't want them exposing potentially millions of values. I want to be able to block that or at least alert my team in real time. And so now, as this finance manager, if I try and select all of my customer data, we have the ability with Alter to recognize that that's happening, to throw an alert, to alert your security team, and if you want us to, proactively, as we're doing here, proactively block the query from executing and block this user from being able to see any additional sensitive data in the clear until your team has time to evaluate that. So By the way, this alert gets generated in Alter. You can see that we've got an anomaly here that I can look into, and I can get with my team. I can talk to my finance manager and determine whether or not it was okay for them to be doing this stuff. But this is it, right? So with Alter and Snowflake, through a very, very simple integration, you have the ability to apply all of the governance policy that you need. You can control access, you can mask sensitive data, you can do that in about as easy of a way as possible with Alter. And you can layer in advanced security on top, where you can tokenize your data, so you can move your more critically sensitive data, like your credit card numbers, like social security numbers. You can move that into Snowflake, so you can actually get value from that data, build better customer experiences, try and detect where fraud is occurring. And you can do so while confident in the security of your data. You can be confident that you're mitigating your risk by placing limits on who can see this data in the clear, and even limits on how much data they're allowed to see. So thank you so much. That's the end of the demo. And if you're interested in learning more about Alter, we've got a free plan, as I mentioned, so you can just sign up for Alter on Snowflake Partner Connect, or contact us at any time. We're happy to give you a deeper demo. Thank you.